Hello guys, it's me Sumant here. Welcome to my YouTube channel Phyronic Saga. This is the most staggering part in this saga, that is the physics part. And in this video, I'm going to show you something astounding paradox in physics, that is EPR paradox. I had made a two video on this, EPR part 1 and EPR part 2. EPR part 1 means this one, which I will going to explain about the complementarity theory in physics. And in the next video, that is EPR part 2, I am going to discuss the irrealistic interpretation and quantum entanglement. Okay, let's take a tour towards the 20th century science war.
Once upon a time, it may be around 1935, the World War II had been happening. Oh wait, I think it happened in between 1939 and 1945. Then, what happened at 1935? Yup, it is the time when there is a big conflict between two extreme theories in physics. That is, the Einstein's general theory of relativity and Bohr's quantum mechanics. Ta-da! Here it is, introducing you the EPR paradox. Well, back in 1935, known as the era of quantum mechanics, a paper entitled Can Quantum Mechanical Description of Physical Reality Be Considered Complete? Quite interesting. Which is commonly known as the EPR paradox. EPR means this is the starting letter of the three physicists who proposed this paper, namely Albert Einstein, Boris Podolsky, and Nathan Rosen. These are the people of the opposing party of the quantum mechanics at that time. As usual, by Newton's third law, for every opposing party, there will be a defending party against them. Okay, I'm just kidding. And the other set of people who are the admirers of quantum mechanics defend the quantum mechanics against this paper, namely Niels Bohr, Heisenberg, and Schrödinger. Yep. The EPR text is concerned in the first instance with the logical connections between two assertions. One assertion is quantum mechanics incomplete? And the other one is incompatible quantities of quantum mechanics. In this video, I am discussing on incompatible quantities of quantum mechanics. And in the next video, that is the EPR part 2, in that I am going to discuss the incomplete nature of the quantum mechanics. Well, let's look at the basic definition of incompatible quantities. The quantities which we can't measure simultaneously are the incompatible quantities. So for better understanding and more knowledge, let's look at this. At the mid of 20th century, in the wave of quantum mechanics proposed by Bohr and others, observing a quantum object involves an uncontrollable physical interactions with the measuring device and the quantum system, which affects both the system. The picture here is a tiny object banging into a big apparatus. The effect produced on the measuring instrument issues the result. So, the effect experienced by the quantum object limits what other quantities can be co-measured with precision. This is the theory of complementarity. Better word for quantities which we can't measure precisely is the incompatible quantities or complementary quantities. And one more thing. The complementarity theory in quantum mechanics is nothing but the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. They both are the one and the same. The Heisenberg uncertainty principle states that we cannot measure the position and momentum of a particle simultaneously. Means, if we measure the position of a particle more accurately, the momentum of that particle deviates more by the relation delta x into delta p is equal to h by 4 pi, where delta x and delta p are the position and momentum of a particle respectively, and h is the Planck's constant. Approx value of a Planck's constant is 6.62 into 10 raised to minus 34 joules per second. And Planck's constant is nothing but the relation between the energy in one quantum of electromagnetic radiation to the frequency of that radiation. Okay, since in the equation right hand side is constant, means h is constant and 4 pi is also constant as usual, you know. So observing the equation, we may conclude that if we measure the position of a particle more precisely or a momentum more precisely, the delta x or a delta p, to maintain the equality, the other quantity deviation increases, because equation says that delta x into delta p is greater than or equal to h by 4 pi. Okay, I think it's clear. Here the position and momentum are the complementary variable, and one more complementary variables are energy and time. These are also the complementary variables. We cannot measure it precisely and simultaneously in the quantum system. Firstly, uncertainty principle has been confused regarding the question of observer effect in physics, which says that we cannot measure the one property of a system without disturbing the other properties. But later, when matter wave concept by de Broglie was arrived, it clears some thought of fuzziness about the uncertainty principle. Thus, the uncertainty principle actually states a fundamental property of a quantum system and is not a statement about the observational success of a current technology. And he also points that measurement does not mean only a process in which a physicist and a quantum system interact. Also, it is an interaction between the classical world and the quantum world.
So, this is one of the conflicting part of the EPR paper, that is complementarity theory. Let's consider the Einstein's view and what does EPR says about this. Okay, firstly, Einstein was enthusiastic about grading of quantum mechanics. Later, when he got some probabilistic interpretation of quantum mechanics, he feels some thought of incompleteness and disturbing, because he doesn't believe in probabilistic nature of reality. He only claims that all the nature of the reality is predictable and statistical, and he claims that quantum mechanics admirers are changing the nature of reality to match their wave equation. At the same time, another person with some experimental knowledge came to the scene. Let's look at this.
And here another person enters the scene, that is Max Jammer. Here later, after the Solvay conference at 1930, Jammer develops the Einstein's thought experiment on EPR paper. So the experiment looks like this. Imagine a box that contains a clock set to measure the time precisely. In that box, when we release a photon with determinate energy and observe its characters, he claims it is feasible to measure the energy of a photon at the time of release, because by the basic idea of a nature we can determine the energy of photon, and by looking at the ticking clock we can infer the time. But by the wave equation of Heisenberg, he claims that we cannot measure the particles' energy and time simultaneously, because they are the incompatible quantities or complementary variables. Here, the uncertainty relation understood not just as a prohibition on what is co-measurable, but is simultaneous real, were a central component in the irrealist interpretation of wave function. And the conflict evolved to the different photon in a box experiment. One that experiment allows an observer to determine either the momentum or the position of a photon indirectly while remaining outside the box. Jammer associates this with the distant determination of either momentum or position of a particle. This is one part. Another question arises is, How do we measure the particle's momentum and position indirectly? Yep, it's a notable point, I think. Einstein described an arrangement for the indirect measurement of particle by using a correlation with the photon established through Compton scattering. And one more thing. In this video, I am not explaining how Compton scattering works and what does it mean. If possible, I will make another video on that too.
Okay, in your concern, whose view of reality is perfect? Is Einstein was right about the simultaneous measurement of position momentum or Bohr? Please do response in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and do subscribe my channel Phyronic Saga. And one more thing, the second video, that is EPR part 2, which is on quantum entanglement, is getting ready. I will upload that too in a few days. I hope you will definitely watch that. Thank you.